This is Fisher Christopher's podcast for UFC 300. I'm going to be predicting and giving you my opinions on who I think is going to win the fights for each round, or each fight, obviously. Let's get into it. For the early prelims, the fight is going to be on Saturday. This coming Saturday at starts at 5 p.m. April 13th, Saturday, April 13th. The first fight of the night is Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. I have Bobby Green winning that fight from I think I'm gonna have him winning just overall in decision. I think he's just the better fighter overall. Jim Miller, he's getting old. He needs to retire soon, in my opinion. That's for lightweight. Men's lightweight. The next one, it's women's strawweight. It's Jessica Andreas versus Marina Rodriguez. I have Marina Rodriguez winning that fight. I think also in decision overall. I just think she's the better fighter overall. She's up and coming. She's not up and coming, but she's been in it for a while. But I still think she's better. The next fight, this is lightweight again. This is Jalen Turner versus Renato Moicano. I have Jalen Turner winning the fight. I just think he's a better fighter overall, in my opinion. I think he can handle it. I think there's going to be a knockout in the third round. I think he's going to knock him out in the third round. Moving on to the preliminary cards. That was early prelims. I have it's the next fight is Kayla Harrison versus Holly Holm. This is women's bantamweight. I have Kayla Harrison winning in decision. So overall, she's I think she's the better fighter overall. She can get her stuff done early on and execute the fight right away. The next fight is Calvin Kattar versus Aljamain Sterling. This is a featherweight fight. I have Aljamain Sterling winning by decision in the third round. I think he's a better fighter overall. He was the former champion. He lost to Sean O'Malley a while back, and I still think he's still a great fighter. He can still, do what he needs to do to win these fights, and I think he's going to win it. Next fight of the night is light heavyweight. It's Yuri sorry if I pronounced his name wrong. Yuri Prochazka. I'm not 100% how to pronounce his last name. Versus Alexander Rakic. Also don't know how to really pronounce his last name. They got some goofy last names in here. But I have Yuri winning by knockout in the second round. I think he can get the fight over early. I think he's got the firepower for it. He's got the arms. He's got the striking for it. I definitely think he's gonna knock him out. That's for preliminary. Now for the main card, the first fight of the night is gonna be Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. I have Bo Nickel winning by decision in the third round. Bo Nickel is an up-and-coming fighter. He's 5-0 right now. This is a middleweight fight against Cody. He's 10-5. Bo Nickel's really good. I feel like he could be a potential champion later on when after time goes on. But he's a really good fighter. He can really, do what he needs to do to win these fights. The next fight I have, the next fight of the night is Charles Oliveira versus Arman Saryukin. Sorry if I pronounced his last name wrong. This is a lightweight fight. I think Charles Oliveira is going to win by submission. I think he's going to win by submission in probably the third round. I think he can really, do what he needs to do to ultimately win the fight. It's going to be a really good fight. This is probably one of my favorite fights of the night. But I think he's going to end up winning the fight against him. The next fight of the night is a lightweight fight. Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. This is also one of my favorite fights of the night. It's going to be a really, stand-up fight with a lot of punches thrown and stuff. I think it's going to be a bloody fight. Ultimately, I do have Justin Gaethje winning in decision. I don't think anybody gets knocked out. Max Holloway has never been knocked down in his UFC career, so it's going to be a really good fight. But I think Justin Gaethje gets the better of him and wins the BMF belt. It's not an actual belt. It's just a made-up belt. It's called Baddest Mother Effer. That's what they called it. It's supposed to be like the toughest guy in the UFC. I think they're fighting for the BMF belt. It's a made-up belt, but I think Justin Gaethje wins it. But I say by decision, yeah. The next one is women's strawweight. This is the co-main event. This is Weili Zhang versus Yan Zhaonan. Sorry if I pronounced the name wrong. I'm going to have Zhang, the 24-3, the current champion, beat Zhao Nan through decision ultimately, or possibly even by submission. Zhang is I just think she's really almost unbeatable. She's a really good fighter. She got great ground game, and a great stand-up game. But ultimately, she is going to take the W, in my opinion. The next fight of the night is going to be this is the main event, light heavyweight championship fight, Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. In my opinion, I wish their main event was a lot better. I don't think Jamal Hill deserves a shot at this at the championship belt. I think it should have been somebody else. I think maybe the main event should have been different. I still think UFC 300 is going to be a very great card. But let me get to the thing. Light heavyweight main event, Alex Pereira 9-2 versus Jamal Hill 12-1. I think I'm gonna have Alex Pereira by knockout in the third round. That's my prediction. Hopefully he can get it done early. It's gonna be good. That's about it. All right, now to give the people that don't know how UFC works a rundown. It's a mixed martial arts sport where basically anything goes down. There's multiple rules to it. For non-main events and non-co-main events, it's 3 rounds, but for main and co-main events, it's 5 rounds. If nobody gets knocked out or submitted, or the doctor stops the fight, then it goes to decision, and the judges will score it based on who they thought won the fight. There's different weight classes for each for both men's and women's. It goes from like heavyweight, which is the big boys, to like featherweight, which is the smaller guys that are obviously smaller. Yeah, definitely. I think the UFC has been growing in popularity a lot more recently. Everyone. Yeah, there's a lot of great fighters that are definitely bringing up the sport a lot, like Sean O'Malley and other great fighters that definitely, deserve more respect. There are also, even though it is a very gruesome sport with a lot of blood, there are some obviously ground rules that can't be broken. There's no butting with the head. There's no eye gouging of any kind. There's no biting or spitting at an opponent. There's no fish hooking. This is like the act of putting your finger in someone's eye or nostrils or anything like that and pulling on it. There's no hair pulling. There's no spiking an opponent to the canvas on his head or neck. Strikes to the spine or the back of the head, not allowed. Throat strikes of any kind, not allowed. Fingers outstretched towards an opponent's face/eyes, not allowed. There's no groin attacks of any kind. You can't stomp on them. You can't kick them while they're on the ground. Just keeping it clean, making sure nobody really gets extremely injured and ruins their whole career in the octagon. That's what they fight in. It's obviously the 8-shaped octagon. They have some gear. It's not bare knuckle. They have to have the pretty light gloves. You have to use those obviously for sun protection. It can't just be bare knuckle, or that would be extremely gruesome for people. But overall, I think UFC 300 is going to be a very good card. I feel like it's going to be probably the highest pay-per-view card of all time. It's going to be getting a lot of money. They also just increased the fighting bonus of the night for UFC 300 to $300,000. So if you win fight of the night, you get $300,000 instead of $50,000. This is only for UFC 300. I think that's very good for whoever's going to win it. I just hope that the card's great. Hopefully no one gets extremely injured. Hopefully everything goes smoothly. But overall, I think it's going to be a very good card. Thank you for listening to my podcast and predictions on UFC 300. This is Fisher Christopher once again. If you have any questions about UFC 300, you can email me at Christopher_Fisher at apps@slpschools.org. That's about it. Thank you for listening to my podcast.